GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Friday, the 4th of July, or the farce called He Lies. 2025 in the Gregorian calendar, that's a lie. 6225 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Woof. Boy, that was an adventure getting the program turned on for today. I'll have to go through it over the weekend and find out what went wrong. Yesterday, we had a real hard time logging in, and today was a real hard time logging in. And I am in the program. I think I've got it all set up pretty much close to near the way it's supposed to be. And I don't know what is the issue, but don't worry about it. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry about a thing, people. We are live and direct here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginblack.com. The problem was I was just not able to get the camera to switch to OBS over here. And it keeps doing the same thing. So we'll work on that over the weekend. But here's what I have on the queue for today's program. I hope you do find this to be fascinating and compelling. Today, the title of the theme is 4th of July and cancer-causing foods. The 4th of July and cancer-causing foods. Rarely does the public question the safety of the food that is commonly eaten in the U.S. I know it's in other countries too. But the fact is that many foods have a significantly increased risk of chronic disease. On this cultural holiday, we look closely at every one of the items on the menu for a traditional 4th of July meal with a focus on the carcinogenic impact of these foods. I don't mean to spoil your holiday. I'm just bringing facts. What we have uncovered is the fact that these standard menu items all raise a significant risk for cancer. All of them. Could this be why over 40% of Americans will develop cancer at least once in their lifetime? Can we do any better? Can we do any better? That's the question. Can we do any better than what we have been doing? So that is what is on the title for today. Let's go into it. And by the end of the program, hopefully, we will come up with a set of solutions. Solutions. Now, first of all, before I begin, let me wet my whistle. Water. You can't miss with that. That is anti-cancer. The first category of food that will appear on this menu, let's put on the table right now. Number 1, hot dogs, bacon, ham, jerky, lunch meat, sausage, smoked meats. Processed meats like hot dogs, and bacon have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. You knew this, particularly colorectal cancer, a very painful disease. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, processed meat is still classified as a quote, carcinogenic to humans, group A carcinogen, unquote, placing it in the same category, placing it in the same category as tobacco smoking and asbestos exposure. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, found that consuming 50 grams of processed meat daily, which is roughly equivalent to one hot dog or two slices of bacon, increases the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Now, this is just the first one, increases your risk by 18%. The link between processed meats and cancer is thought to be due to the chemicals used in processing, such as nitrates and nitrites, which are also in the smoke left behind in the fireworks display tonight, 4th of July. So eat 2 barbecued hot dogs wrapped in bacon or sausages, 2 of them, and look at where you're at. And then go to see your fireworks display and inhale that smoke. The link, okay, these substances, nitrates and nitrites, can lead to the production of carcinogenic compounds like N-nitroso compounds, NOCs, which cause oxidative damage to intestinal tissue. While the evidence is strongest for colorectal cancer, some studies show that processed meat may also be associated with other cancers, including breast, colon, rectal, and lung cancers. However, not all processed meats may carry the same level of risk, and some research indicates that the presence of preservatives like sodium nitrite may influence the degree of cancer risk. The American Institute for Cancer Research, AICR, recommends limiting consumption of processed meats, as even small amounts eaten regularly can increase cancer risk. Red meat includes beef, lamb, and pork. Current research shows that there are certain chemicals in red and processed meats, both added and naturally occurring, that cause these foods to be carcinogenic. For example, when a chemical in red meat called HAM is broken down in the gut, N-nitroso chemicals are formed, and these have been found to damage the cells that line the bowel, which can lead to bowel cancer. These same chemicals also form when processed meat is digested. In addition, the nitrate and nitrite preservatives used to preserve processed meat produce these N-nitroso chemicals that can lead to bowel cancer. Number 2 on our list. This is on the menu. Sugary sodas and sugary drinks. Coke, Pepsi, Fanta, root beer, lemonade, sweet tea. The link between sodas and sugary drinks and cancer is primarily associated with the consumption of sugary beverages, which has been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. Studies suggest that higher intake of sugary drinks is associated with an increased risk of overall cancer and specific types such as breast cancer. For instance, a study published in the British Medical Journal found that a 100 milliliter a day increase in consumption of sugary drinks was linked to a 18% increased risk of overall cancer and a 22% increased risk of breast cancer. Another study found that a strong correlation between the consumption of sugary soft drinks and the development of 11 types of cancer, including kidney, colorectal, esophagus, pancreas, liver, and gallbladder cancers. The mechanisms proposed include factors such as overweight, obesity, high visceral adiposity, insulin resistance, and the presence of chemical compounds in sugary drinks that may play a role in cancer development. It is important to note that while there is no conclusive evidence that sugary drinks are a direct cause of cancer, drinking them often or in large quantities may contribute to increased cancer risk because it can lead to weight gain, which is a known risk factor for several cancers. On the other hand, artificial sweeteners found in diet sodas have not been proven to cause cancer, but they also do not offer any nutritional value. And I say that statement, artificial sweeteners found in diet sodas has not been proven. That's absurd. That is absurd. Artificial sweeteners have been researched very extensively by a number of different agencies. And therefore, I presume from all the studies that I have seen that artificial sweeteners like, what's it called? I can't think of their names right now. Aspartame, sucralose, and a number of others are associated with a significant increase in risk of developing cancer. That's the truth. Let me just take a moment and see if anybody is in my house today. Nobody in the house today, but that's okay. We are going to give you a good show. I would also like to extend to you long-term assistance in beating all of this. You can text me if you would, or you can go to our website and get the book. Get the book, A Year Against Cancer, and give yourself the maximum protection. That is http://kidi.biz/CRP2012. That's going to get you the book. If you would choose to help me out by helping yourself out, it's a win-win-win situation. And I tell you, right now, I am really close to closing LIB Radio because quite simply cannot do it any longer. We're out of money. We're out of hope. And if we don't pull together something different, LIB Radio it'll have to shut down. So help me out. Help a good brother keep this radio network going. I cannot overemphasize that point. Let's go forward. I'm going to save that, push that up into today's message. And I'm going to go further. Let me push it over here on StreamYard. And nobody checking in on YouTube as well. We'd love to know who is in the house today. Can you talk to us? We'd love to see you. Love to know you are in the house. Let me just double check over here. I don't want to miss anyone who is checking in on us. So we don't have to. Here, one second. All right. We welcome each and every one of you in the house. Somebody's on YouTube. We welcome everybody today. Number 3 on our list of the top 10 most cancer-causing foods that are on today's 4th of July menu. Number 3, refined sugars and sweets. High fructose corn syrup barbecue sauce, candies, pies, cakes, popsicles, ice cream. The link between refined sugars and sweets and cancer is primarily indirect, with the main concern being weight gain and obesity, except for we know sugar feeds cancer directly. So that kind of negates that first sentence. The link between weight gain and obesity, which are significant risk factors for several types of cancer. While sugar itself is not claimed to directly cause cancer, consuming excessive amounts of refined sugars and sweets can lead to obesity, which is associated with an increased risk of 13 different types of cancer, including breast, liver, and colon cancer. Eating a lot of high sugar foods may mean more calories in your diet than you need, which eventually leads to excess body fat. After not smoking, being at a healthy weight is the most important thing you can do to prevent cancer. Refined sweetened beverages have been linked to an increased risk of cancers, recurrence, and mortality. For example, studies have shown that individuals who consume 2 or more 12-ounce a day have a significantly increased risk of both recurrence and mortality. Additionally, high fructose corn syrup intake, commonly found in refined sugars, may contribute to increased risk of cancer. Unlike glucose, fructose bypasses the normal phosphorylation process in the liver, leading to increased fat storage and obesity, which in turn increases cancer risk. While there is little direct evidence that sugar causes cancer, the consumption of refined sugars and sweets is associated with an increased risk of cancer through the mechanism of obesity. It is recommended to limit the intake of added sugars, with women advised to have no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar. That's a half of a Starbucks treat per day, 25 grams, and men to no more than 9 teaspoons, 36 grams, which is still half of the amount of sugar in many Starbucks treats, or a little bit, or just about half, maybe a little more. 1 drink at Starbucks, twice for women. The doses of sugar you should be recommended by the American Cancer Society. That's crazy, isn't it? but it is the way it is, and it is going the direction that it's going. Let us continue our research. I got a lot of this research on the table, and I welcome any challenge to whether or not it is what it is. Number 4, you're not going to like this one. Cheese and dairy products. Charbroiled cheeseburger, macaroni, and cheese. Cheese and other dairy products have been studied in relation to cancer risk with conflicting findings. I asked the question, who paid for the research? Some research suggests that higher dairy consumption is associated with an increased risk of certain cancers, while other studies indicate potential protective effects against cancer. For example, a study found that consuming cheese during teen years and adulthood, 6 versus 1 serving per week, was associated with a 1.9% risk before menopause and a 0.88 increased risk after menopause. Another study, the Norwegian Women and Cancer Study, found that higher dairy intake, 324 grams or more, versus fewer than 1 gram a day, was associated with a 0.107 increased risk of cancer before menopause and 1.01 increased risk for cancer after menopause. Cheese and dairy products. Now, that doesn't include the refined grains that are in the mac and cheese. I'm going to get to them in a little bit. A first major study on dairy consumption and cancer risk in Chinese adults found that greater intake was associated with higher risks of liver cancer and female breast cancer. Additionally, there is evidence that dairy may increase the risk of prostate cancer, with a 2020 review indicating that dairy foods increase levels of an insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, which is associated with a higher risk of prostate cancer. The China study is a book that explores the relationship between diet and chronic diseases, particularly focusing on the consumption of animal products, including dairy, and its potential links to various cancers, such as breast, prostate, and bowel cancer. Based upon the China Cornell Oxford project, a large-scale epidemiological study conducted in China, the authors argue that a whole food, plant-based diet can help prevent or reverse many chronic diseases. The book criticizes the consumption of animal-based foods, suggesting that they contribute to the development of diseases like cancer. A more recent study involving 500,000 Chinese adults found that higher dairy intake was associated with increased risks of liver cancer, female breast cancer, and possibly lymphoma. This 11-year-old prospective cohort study, part of the China Kadoorie Biobank, showed that participants who consumed more dairy had a higher risk of these specific cancers, even after adjusting for various factors. For instance, the multivariable adjusted hazard ratios, HRs, per 50 grams per day increase in usual dairy consumption were 1.12 for liver cancer, 1.17 increase for female breast cancer, and 1.19 for lymphoma. However, It is important to note that this type of observational study can only establish associations, not causation. The patterns observed in China differ from those in Western populations, where higher dairy consumption has been linked to an increased risk of prostate cancer and a decreased risk of colorectal cancer, but not clearly associated with liver or breast cancers. So the China study shows increase in certain type of cancer, while in America, the increase associated with dairy is prostate cancer. Brothers, 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 it's the cheese. Number 5, it's on the menu for today. In fact, it's the star of the show. Charbroiled and grilled meats and veggies. Meats and veggies. Barbecue, beef, pork ribs, hot dogs, burgers, veal, lamb, mutton, goat, and grilled veggies. Charbroiled and grilled meats can increase cancer risk due to the formation of carcinogenic chemicals known as heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, when cooked at high temperatures. These compounds form when meat is cooked over direct heat, especially when it is charred or burned. Same with the veggies, when they're charred or burned. Studies have shown that exposure to HCAs and PAHs can cause cancer in animal models, and long-term exposure has been linked to an increased risk of prostate, colon, and pancreatic cancers. The risk is not limited to the consumption of the meat itself, as PAHs can also be inhaled through cooking smoke. While population studies have not established a definite link between HCA and PAA exposure from cooked meats and cancer, in humans, the formation of these chemicals is influenced by factors such as cooking method, temperature, and the quote doneness unquote level of the meat. To reduce the risk, the experts recommend using indirect heat, marinating your meat, pre-cooking it, and incorporating more vegetables into the meal. Of course, not grilled or charred vegetables. Additionally, cleaning the grill regularly and trimming fat from meat can help minimize the formation of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. There is also the subject of red meat and cancer risk. Red meat and cancer risk. Listen, listen, listen. The link between NEU5GC, please write that down, NEU5GC, 6 letters, NEU, the link between NEU5GC, which stands for N-acetylneuraminic acid, in red meats and cancer is related to the immune response and inflammation. NEU5GC is a sialic acid found in red meats, such as beef, pork, and lamb, but not found in humans. When humans consume NEU5GC, their immune system recognizes it as foreign and produces antibodies against it, leading to a chronic inflammatory response. This inflammation can contribute to development and progression of cancer by promoting cellular damage and creating a favorable environment for tumor growth. NEU 5GC. Experimental evidence suggests that the inflammation caused by the immune response to NEU 5GC can promote tumor progression. Additionally, the presence of NEU 5GC in red meat has been associated with the formation of xenoautoantibodies, which may further contribute to the carcinogenic process. While the exact mechanisms are still under investigation, dissociation between NEU 5GC and cancer highlights the potential of dietary factors in cancer development. Now, I have an article pulled up. I'm going to read the abstract from this peer review article. This is from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, December 29th, 2014. National Academy of Sciences, should we pay attention to them? Well, when it comes to cancer, I think we should definitely be paying attention to them. Let me just do this. I'm going to copy this X and paste and put it over here as well. Paste the article. I'm going to put it up on my Facebook page for those of you who do this research and you want to look for where do you find these documents that we're using today. Well, go to my Facebook page and you will find these particular documents. Let me see. Let me copy this one more time. Completely copy here, go and paste it here, as well as I'm going to paste it up. Give me a second. Paste it up on the front page where you will find the streaming video for today's program. And I do encourage all of you, please, please do get these research papers, get the books. I'm not messing with you. I love you. I need you. You need me. If you want to prevent the mistake that the overwhelming majority of Americans are going to make the same mistake today, and they're going to eat everything on the menu, probably go back for seconds and thirds. Sodas, the bread, the refined wheat products, the meats, the barbecue, the char. I'm not going to do any of that. I have no regrets. I have a self-interest in protecting myself from that. You have a self-interest of protecting yourself from cancer, from all of that. And then after all of that, you're going to now set off the fireworks. You went out and bought a big fireworks kit, didn't you? And you're going to be breathing in all of those nitrates and nitrites. It's pretty scary. 2 out of 5 people in America will develop cancer in their lifetime. It's actually crossed that point now. It's unbelievable. Let's continue. We're talking about the farce called July. I said I was going to share a abstract from this article. Abstract, a well-known epidemiological reproducible risk factor for human carcinomas is the long-term consumption of red meat of mammalian origin. Although multiple theories have attempted to explain this human-specific association, none have been conclusively proven. We use an improved method to survey common foods for free and glycidically bound forms of non-human sialic acid in glyconeuramic acid. That's NEU 5GC. showing that it is highly and selectively enriched in red meat. The bound form of NEU 5GC is bioavailable, undergoing metabolic incorporation into human tissues, despite being a foreign antigen. Interactions of this antigen with circulating anti-NEU 5GC antibodies could potentially incite inflammation. Indeed, when human-like NEU 5GC deficient mice were fed bioavailable NEU 5GC and challenged with anti-NEU 5GC antibodies, they developed evidence of a systemic inflammation. Such mice were already prone to develop occasional tumors of the liver, an organ that can incorporate dietary NEU 5GC. NEU 5GC deficient mice immunized against NEU 5GC and fed bioavailable 5G, NEU 5GC developed a much higher incidence of hepatocellular carcinomas, hepatocellular carcinomas, with evidence of NEU 5GC accumulation. Taken together, our data provide an unusual mechanistic explanation for the epidemiological association between red meat consumption and carcinoma risk. This mechanism might also contribute to other chronic inflammatory processes epidemiologically associated with red meat consumption. Again, I shared with you that source of that article, and you will probably, if you put it in a search engine, as opposed to just putting it in your browser, you will probably find at least 10 to 15 other similar articles in the peer-reviewed science literature linking NEU 5GC, inflammation, and cancer. We're doing the best we can, but our best is not yet good enough. It's not good enough. We're going to do even better. Let me just double check, make sure that article did get linked in, and that was from PMC. Yeah, a red meat derived glycan promotes inflammation and cancer progression. And let me just copy all of that one more time and paste it here for the Rumble people. Let's go forward. We are today here on LIB Radio, LIBTVLivingInBlack.com. It is now 10 minutes until the top of the hour. I'm going to take a second here. And once again, I'm going to ask you, our listening audience, to join us. Be a part of us. I can no longer do this by myself. It's too much. The expenses are overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It's getting more expensive. Like everything else, LIB Radio is more expensive, and we do not, this is non-commercial. We do not have commercials. We haven't charged people up to now to listen to LIB Radio, but there's a likelihood that that will be the last step. We'll try charging everyone to pay, and if people don't want to pay, then it'll be gone. If the people do pay, then we can stick around. Cash App, your support for LIB Radio to me at $KEIDIOBI, and that is great. You are appreciated. for your support of our Black Star Media. Again, cash out your support for LAB Radio to me at my cash app. That is $KEIDIOBI. And your support is going to be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. The cash app, the support, we're going to have to start it like immediately. I may, after this Sunday, just take a long hiatus from this and go back into me and try and figure out what to do, because I was homeless once before, and I don't want to be homeless ever again. I would never wish that on anybody. So Daniela, I see you are checking in on us. I appreciate you. Appreciate your support. To anyone and everyone who would support us, undeniably, we are most grateful to have you. So on that note, I am going to continue forward. We still got more to go. And we hope to be your favorite. We are LAB Radio, LABTV. We are living in black.com. Let me post one more contact up here, and then let's go forward to the next section of today's report. Where is it at? Here we are. Post there. All right, here we go. Next up on our list is, oh, I think I read the whole thing. Let me see. Indeed, when human like NEU 5GC deficient mice were fed bioavailable. Yeah, I read that. Again, NEU 5GC. Please study it. Please, 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 please. Don't let me. I've been knowing about this since 2014, 11 years now. And as far as I'm aware, I have know of no one else. It's not that I'm saying no one else is doing it. I know of no one else out here warning our people about this protein, this sugar-like molecule that's found inside of red meat that humans cannot process and digest it. But it is being incorporated into our bodies, which is causing chronic inflammation. Number 6 on the list, alcohol. Yeah, you know it had to be on the list. Number 6, alcohol, beer, wine, brown, and white liquor. Listen, it's the truth. Drinking alcohol is linked to an increased risk of several types of cancer. The U.S. Surgeon General has issued an advisory highlighting the causal link between alcohol consumption and increased risk for at least 7 different types of cancer, including breast cancer in women, colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, voice box, liver, mouth, and throat cancer. The risk of cancer increases with the amount of alcohol consumed, and even small amounts of alcohol can raise the risk. For example, drinking even small amounts of alcohol increases the risk of breast cancer in women. Alcohol can damage cells and stop cells from repairing this damage. I'll repeat, alcohol can damage cells and stop cells from repairing this damage, which can lead to cancer. All types of alcoholic beverages, including beer, wine, and spirits, increase cancer risk because it is the alcohol molecule itself that causes the damage. The link between alcohol and cancer is not limited to specific types of alcohol. The more you drink, the higher your risk of cancer. Research has shown that the risk of alcohol-related cancers declines over time when drinking is stopped. Additionally, the risk of cancer is further increased when alcohol is consumed with tobacco. Wow. It's very important to note that there is no safe level of alcohol consumption, none, when it comes to cancer risk. And the evidence for any health benefits from alcohol is not clear. Alcohol, that little glass of wine you have, of red wine, it has a resveratrol in it. Resveratrol fights inflammation, but it's unfortunately not matched by the alcohol. So we have choices. We have choices. I encourage each of us to make the choice that I made back in August 1986. Since then, I have consumed no alcohol. I think I had 1 teaspoon of honey wine. Someone had just returned from Ethiopia. He brought back a bottle of honey wine with him. That stuff was strong. I had 1 tablespoonful of it. Took me 2 or 3 passes at that to get that in my mouth. I mean, I could taste it. It was Ethiopia, and I love Ethiopia, but I'm not a drinker. Number 7 of 10 on our list, refined grains like white bread and pasta. Ooh, he's going back at the mac and cheese. Wheat. Wheat as perfect poison. Dr. William Davis, a cardiologist, has claimed that modern wheat is a, quote, perfect chronic poison, unquote, primarily due to a protein called gliadin. He argues that gliadin binds to opiate receptors in the brain, stimulating appetite and leading to increased caloric consumption, which may contribute to obesity and other health issues. Davis suggests that the wheat we consume today is different from the wheat of previous generations, as it has been genetically modified to increase yield and shelf life, introducing new proteins like gliadin that were not present before. I hope you heard what was just said. There's something new in the wheat. Let's go to CBS This Morning Health Watch, dated June 21st, 2013. And I'm going to share this link with you. I'm not going to put up the video because I know it is a rather long video, but I am going to, bear with me, I have to put this up this way. One more time here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Copy this. I'm going to paste this one more time over here. All paste and go. Why is that not? Okay. One more time. Copy, cut, and paste this here for my Rumble family to check out. This is from CBS News. And that's not fitting on there either. Come on. Okay, just cut that and copy just the last part of this. Where are we at? I'm going to put this up for you. I've seen this multiple times, but this one is for you to check out. to confirm that what I'm saying today is not fabricated. So this is going up on the Rumble link. And then one more time, I'm going to put this on my Facebook page as I am talking to you. Are you concerned about developing cancer? I hope you are. I hope I have captured your attention with today's program. And we can do better than this. Come on, people. We can most certainly do better than this. The 4th of July is a big deception. Now, I constantly hearing my people saying this, and we know it's true. It is a massive deception. But the problem is that it's cancer. It's crazy. This is causing cancer on a massive level. It has now been exposed. But what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do? Let's go to the article from CBS News. The article says this: modern wheat is a perfect chronic poison, quote unquote, according to Dr. William Davis, a cardiologist who has published a book that all about the world's most popular grain. Davis says that the wheat we eat these days isn't the wheat your grandmama had. Quote, it's an 18-inch tall plant created by genetic research in the 60s and 70s, unquote. He said on CBS this morning, quote, this thing has many new features nobody told you about. Just that there's a new protein in this thing called gliadin. It's not gluten. I'm not addressing people with gluten sensitivities and celiac disease. I'm talking about everybody else, because everybody else is susceptible to the gliadin protein that is an opiate. This thing binds into the opiate receptors in your brain, and in most people stimulates appetite such that we consume 440 more calories per day, 365 days per year, unquote. Asked if the farming industry could change back to the grain it formerly produced, Davis said it could, but it would not be economically feasible because it yields less per acre. However, Davis said a movement has begun with people turning away from wheat and dropping substantial weight. I will sign on to that because I stopped consuming wheat products 10 years or so more ago. I consume very, very little wheat products. Mostly it has to be non-GMO, non-genetically altered, genetically modified. And even then, I'm very cautious. I don't eat baked bread or whatever. If 3 people lost 8 pounds, big deal, he said. But we're seeing hundreds of thousands of people losing 30, 80, 150 pounds. Diabetics become no longer diabetic. People with arthritis are having dramatic relief. People losing legs, swelling, acid reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, depression, and on every day. That's what he says we're seeing for people who are giving up that wheat. To avoid these wheat-oriented products, David suggests eating real food, quote unquote. David suggests eating real food, such as avocados, olives, olive oil, meats, and vegetables. It's the stuff that is at least likely to have been changed by agribusiness, he said. Certainly not grains. When I say grains, of course, over 90% of all grains will be wheat. We eat will be wheat. Over 90% of all grains we eat will be wheat. It's not barley or flax. It's going to be wheat. The bread, the baked bread acrylamide cancer risk. This is another one that deals with the baked bread. We're talking about the buns that are going to be so distributed, so well distributed during the 4th of July holiday meal, the buns. Let's talk about the buns. You want to talk about buns? I got your buns. I got your buns right here. We're going to talk about the baked bread buns. I'm going to put up this link, and the link is up on all of the chats that we are here with. Let me just double check and see if there's anybody in our Rumble, not Rumble, our You Now family. Are you there? Brian, I see you in the house. Brian Yanti is watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Brian. Thank you for being with us. And welcome to LIB Radio. And today's theme is the 4th of July and cancer causing foods. Brian, I hope you're not going to be out there, man. I feel for anyone and everyone who's going to be out there. I'm going to give you some solutions to do today. For one, you need to take a big, beautiful salad with you to the 4th of July meal. And you need to fill up on that salad. And with the salad, you should take your own homemade dressing. The store-bought dressings are contaminated. Yeah, they are. They are contaminated with canola, dairy, and other stuff. I'm going to give you a recipe for a good, quick honey mustard dressing, and you should take that with you to the BBQ. But we're not quite there yet. Baked bread acrylamide cancer link. Acrylamide is a chemical compound that forms in starchy foods, including bread, when they are cooked at high temperatures above 120 degrees Celsius. This formation occurs as part of the Maillard reaction, which is responsible for the browning and flavor developed in baked goods. Studies have shown that acrylamide can be a potential carcinogen, as it has been linked to cancer in animal studies. However, the evidence for the carcinogenic effects in humans is less clear. For instance, while animal studies have shown that high doses of acrylic amide can cause cancer, the doses used in these studies are much higher than the levels typically encountered through diet. Cancer Research UK categorized the idea that eating burnt food causes cancer a myth. Burnt food causes cancer is a myth, according to Cancer Research UK. Now, that contradicts the IARCH or IARC, the World Health Organization's research that says polyaromatic hydrocarbons and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons and the other one, HCAs, are definitely carcinogenic. Heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So I'm going to repeat that last sentence. Cancer Research UK has categorized the idea that eating burnt food causes cancer as a myth, suggesting that the risk from dietary acrylamide is not as significant as once thought. Additionally, the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, has noted that while acrylamide is present in a wide range of foods, the current levels of dietary exposure are not considered to be a major concern for cancer risk in humans. Now, you know me, I say any risk at all, especially cumulative. We've gone through, what, 8, 9 things? We got a couple more to go. The cumulative effects of these is unacceptable. And we know that up to 40%, no, not up to, at least 40% of adults will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. You understand? This is a small window we're going to have to fit through. So we have to aim for a small portal so we can escape all of that. Despite these findings, it is still recommended to limit the consumption of foods that are cooked to a dark brown color, as this is when acrylamide levels are typically highest. For example, the UK's Food Standards Agency advises cooking starchy foods to a golden yellow color rather than a dark brown to reduce acrylamide intake. A golden yellow color. What are you talking about? Is macaroni and cheese cooked to a golden yellow color? Yeah, except for those burnt dark brown chunks all throughout it. And it's cooked in aluminum. Many times it's served or cooked in aluminum. It's crazy, y'all. While acrylamide is a potential carcinogen based on animal studies, the evidence for its effects on human cancer risk is not conclusive, and the levels found in typical diets are not considered to pose a significant risk. That's real ambiguous language to me, and I cannot accept ambiguity on your part in my life. Now I have three more up for which I thought I was going to have time this morning to do research on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up right now. Number 8, artificial sweeteners, diet sodas, aspartame, NutraSweet, and what is the link between these and cancer risk? That's what we're looking at. The link between artificial sweeteners and cancer risk. And I think I did show you, if you didn't already see it, today's image that I used to promote today's program. I thought it was very well done. Let me put that up one more time. Present this, share screen to the window, and it is here. And this is today's promo. And you can see many of those tasty dishes that are going to be on your menu for today. These tasties. And of course, these tasties have a much higher risk of cancer development than what is acceptable to you and to me. So we do what we do, where we see the sodas, the ice cream, the dairy, the smoked meats and processed meats, the star of the party down there in the corner, and then the mac and cheese. Mm, 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 mm. Doesn't that all look tasty? Next, we're going to go to, and this is not opening. So let me try one more here. And I had a real serious situation happen today with loading up my computer, and something on the computer has changed. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. And so right now we're going to look up artificial sweeteners, diet sodas, sugar, and capital A and D, cancer risk. So pulling this one up, I'm using Copilot to do this search here right now. Bear with me, all the noise outside. Let me just close this window. There we go. I ain't mad at my neighbor, but my neighbor is getting a little noisy here today. And we are going to continue this one. And this Copilot, one more time, this paste it, and cancer risks. Here's what Copilot has to say about number 8, artificial sweeteners. These include diet sodas, aspartame, and NutraSweet. Here's what they say. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, found in NutraSweet and Equal, sucralose, Splenda, and saccharin, sweet and low, are used in diet, sodas, and sugar-free products to promote sweetness without the calories. They're hundreds of times sweeter than sugar, so only tiny amounts are needed. Cancer risk, what the science says, on aspartame. In 2023, the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, classified aspartame as, quote, possibly carcinogenic to humans, group 2B, due to limited evidence linking it to liver cancer in humans. Point two, however, the joint FAO World Health Organization Expert Committee on Food Additives reaffirmed that aspartame is safe at current consumption levels up to 40 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. Point number three, for a that limit. Other sweeteners, sucralose and saccharin, have not shown consistent evidence of cancer risk in humans. Saccharin was once linked to bladder cancer in rats, but later studies found that mechanism didn't apply to humans, and it was delisted as a carcinogen in 2000. Neotame and advantame, newer sweeteners derived from aspartame, have not been linked to cancer in human studies. Diet sodas, a mixed bag. Diet sodas often contain aspartame or sucralose, and while they are marketed as healthier alternatives to sugary drinks, some studies suggest they may disrupt metabolism, increase cravings, or be linked to obesity-related cancers indirectly. Next point, the NutraNet Centre study found a slight increase in overall cancer risk among high consumers of artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and acesulfame K. Bottom line, no conclusive evidence proves that artificial sweeteners cause cancer in humans. But some studies raise concerns, especially with high long-term consumption. If you are concerned, consider moderation or switching to natural alternatives like stevia or monk fruit, which haven't been linked to cancer risks. And I will say this much before: a solution is make your own fizzy drink. That's in my solutions list. Number two, create a healthy fizzy drink using 100% tart cherry juice and sparkling mineral water. Just mix them together. It sparkles, it gives you the fizz, and 100% tart cherry juice is actually a healing juice. 100% blueberry juice, 100% pomegranate juice, 100% not cherry, cranberry juice. It's absolutely delicious. And you have created a wonderful solution. We're going to get to other solutions here. We got a little bit more to go. I'm just going to copy this, even though I did not necessarily like what I read there, but we're just going to just grab it and put it over here. And the next one on our list, canned foods with BPA, specifically being baked beans with bacon. What is the risk? What is the risk for cancer for consuming baked beans with bacon? Let's go through canned beans. I should say the concern around canned foods like baked beans with bacon often centers on BPA, bisphenol A chemical used in the lining of many food cans. Let's break down what the science says about the cancer risk and how to reduce it. BPA is a synthetic compound used in the epoxy resin lining of cans to prevent corrosion and contamination. It can leach into food, especially when cans are heated or stored for long periods. The cancer risk from BPA exposure, what the research shows: one, BPA is an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can mimic hormones like estrogen. Two, some studies link BPA exposure to breast and prostate cancers, though evidence in humans is still inconclusive. Three, animal studies show that even low doses of BPA can affect hormone sensitive tissues. Canned beans with bacon. These often come in BPA lined cans, especially from budget or generic brands. The fat content in bacon may increase BPA leaching, as BPA is lipophilic, fat attracting. Some brands have switched to BPA free linings, but substitutes like PVC or acrylic resins may also pose risks. Other health concerns with canned baked beans: number one, high sodium added sugars are common in canned baked beans, which can contribute to hypertension, obesity, and inflammation, all of which are indirect cancer risk factors. Preservatives and acrylamide formed during high heat cooking may also be present in trace amounts. And that is that. That was pretty good. I'm going to copy that section there and paste that into my document. And then there's one more inquiry I'm going to do before I leave this Copilot. And the next one up here is hydrogenated oils and trans fats. We're talking about the greens with the floater in them. Hydrogenated oils and trans fats. Is there a link between hydrogenated oils and trans fats and cancer risk? That is the question. What the research shows. I'm using Copilot for this, so we're going in quick and easy right now for these answers to these questions. Here's what it has to say. What are hydrogenated oils and trans fat? Hydrogenated oils are made by adding hydrogen to liquid vegetable oils to make them solid and shelf stable. The process creates trans fats, especially in partially hydrogenated oils, the main source of artificial trans fats in processed foods. These are common in margarine, baked goods, fried foods, snack foods, and some non-dairy creamers. The cancer risk. Key findings: a 2021 meta-analysis found a significant association between high trans fat intake and increased risk of prostate cancer and colorectal cancer. Other studies suggest trans fats may: one, promote inflammation and oxidative stress; two, disrupt cell membranes and hormonal signaling; three, damage the endothelium, the lining of blood vessels, which may contribute to cancer development. The mechanisms: trans fats are pro-inflammatory, which can create an environment conducive to cancer growth. They may also impair insulin sensitivity, increasing risk for metabolic syndrome and obesity, both of which are linked to cancer. I include cancer as a metabolic syndrome disease in my research. The FDA banned partially hydrogenated oils in the US as of 2020, but trace amounts still exist in some foods. Always check for hydrogenated oil on ingredient labels, even if the label says grams trans fat. And so the bottom line, yes, there is a link between hydrogenated oils, trans fats, and cancer, especially with long-term high intake. While the risk isn't as strong or direct with smoking or radiation, it's enough to warrant caution. The good news, with label reading and a few swaps, you can dodge most of these dietary landmines. And with a few dietary swaps, yes, yes, yes. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is, what is the cancer risk? What is the risk of increased cancer from aluminium, ALLUMINIUM, cookware? And that includes aluminum foil cookware, pots, and pans. This is very serious. What is the concern with aluminum? Aluminum is a reactive metal. And when you cook acidic or salty foods like tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, or vinegar-based dishes in uncoated aluminum pots, small amounts can leach into your cookware, into your food. It is naturally present in the environment and in many foods, but excessive exposure has raised concerns about neurological issues like Alzheimer's and potential links to cancer. Cancer research, what does the research say? No direct link has been established between aluminum cookware and cancer in humans. However, some studies suggest that chronic exposure to high levels of aluminum may contribute to oxidative stress and DNA damage, which are indirect pathways to cancer development. The risk increases when cooking acidic or salty foods, using old, scratched, or uncoated aluminum pans, cooking at high temperatures for long temperatures. And it talks about it says avoid aluminum foil for cooking acidic foods. It leaches more readily than does cookware. So avoid aluminum foil. That's not going to be taking place. So we've gotten through 11 particular points dealing with all of this. Now 11, I copied this. Let me copy this, copy, and paste this here. And there it is. So let's do solutions. I've got a list of solutions. You can do it. Number one, eat lots of fruits, especially watermelon. If they're serving watermelon at your family reunion, or not family reunion, at the 4th of July, fill your belly with the watermelon. Watermelon is wonderful. It's tasty, it's delicious, it's got the right type of sugar in it, fructose. If you have seeded watermelon, that's even better. If you don't have seeded, eat the one with no seeds. Fill your belly with watermelon. It's a detoxing agent. Number two, create a healthy fizzy drink. Take it to the party. A healthy fizzy drink. Buy a couple of bottles of sparkling mineral water, the fizzy water, and then buy one bottle each of 100% tart cherry juice or 100% pomegranate juice. You can get 100% blueberry juice or 100% cranberry juice. Not cranberry, cranberry juice. Take that with you. You can have as much of that fizzy soda as you want. Number three, carry your own home prepared salad to the menu. Make a big, beautiful salad. Put lots of color in it. Put walnuts in it, raisins in it. Put shredded carrots on it, bell pepper. There's all kind of things. Load your salad up. Make it stand out across the room. People are going to look at your salad and they're going to leap across the room and try and jump into the salad bowl. There's all kind of things you can do to make a color salad. And lastly, make your own salad dressing. I want you to carry your salad dressing on the side. Don't put it on the dressing until you're ready to serve it, because you want people to look at your salad and say, dang, you've made that beautiful. Shredded cabbage, shredded beets, chopped apples, sunflower seeds, walnuts, raisins, cranberries, bell peppers, zucchini, yellow squash. Make that salad dance. It's a whole meal in one bowl. And fill up on it, fill up on it, fill up on it. If you're going to eat the meat anyways, fill up on that salad, please. And then make your own healthy salad dressing. Honey mustard dressing, depending on how much you're going to make. You may feed 5 people or you may feed 25 people. You're going to use equal proportions of honey and mustard. Put that in a bowl or glass dish. Put in honey. You're going to put in mustard, equal proportions of money, and Dijon mustard, not the yellow sugary stuff. You're going to get Dijon mustard, the good kind, the ground mustard, and get it organic. You can get good organic mustard at Trader Joe's. You're also going to put in some veganese, about the same dose of veganese. You're going to put in olive oil. You're going to put in a small amount of apple cider vinegar into your honey mustard dressing. And then you are going to put in freshly ground black pepper. And lastly, 21 seasons dressing. Not dressing, 21 seasons season mix, herbal mix. Put all that together. 21 seasons, ground black pepper, veganese, mustard, honey, and olive oil and cider vinegar. 7 ingredients. Mix all of those together, carry it on the side, taste it before you try it. You're going to love it. But take that one with you to the barbecue, and then at the last moment, before everybody's served, then you mix them all together. That's it. Honey mustard dressing, your own salad, your own fizzy drink, and eat that watermelon. Take the watermelon. If you can, take the watermelon. Make sure you got enough for you, because you're going to eat a whole bunch of that watermelon. And that's what you do to protect yourself. Lastly, I would suggest when you come home or when you get back at the end of the day, if you have eaten the traditional barbecue meal, 2 things. One, get out. Do not go outside do not breathe in any fireworks smoke. Do not breathe in any fireworks smoke. None at all. None. And secondly, go to bed tonight with prune juice and cascara sagrada, a laxative and prune juice. Before you go to bed, drink your half a cup or a cup, 8 ounces or 10 ounces of prune juice, along with 1 to 2 caps of cascara sagrada. And the next morning, all of that will be out of you. All that stuff you indulged in yesterday will be gone. And your likelihood of developing cancer, if you follow my advice, will drop very, very, very dramatically. If not, you will not get cancer. But also, we're going to have to deal with this inflammatory condition. So today, we did the best we can to tell you what is in that meal. What is in that meal that causes so much problem with cancer? And then we asked the question, what can we do based upon what we know about what is in that meal? You've been tuned into your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. We challenge each and every one of you to do your best, do your absolute best. Don't be a chump. Don't be a chump. Be a champion. Be a champion for yourself. Be a champion for your people. Be a champion here at LAB Radio. I put out my Cash App for LIB Radio. We need LIB Radio. We need the champions to step forward and say, this is my LIB Radio. It is not going anywhere. This is my LIB Radio. It is not going to fail. It is not going anywhere. All of the other ones, except for Inner Light Radio, all of them, Baba Junius has said this again and again, all of them failed. Gap Radio, there was all of them. They all failed. They all failed because this is harder than you think. And it's not getting any easier. Today I woke up and I looked at my bank account and it was severely overdrafted. I got to stop this. I got to stop and turn it around. But there's no commercials here. So where do we get the turn it around money from? Can I get you, the listener, to claim it as your own and to participate? We're going to have to do something. So go to http://keidi.com.biz, keidi.biz/CRP 2012 and show some love. You know it. We need you to step forward, people. We need you to say, hey, this is my LIB Radio. I'm claiming it and I'm not going to let it go. You hear me, but you're reluctant. I understand. You are reluctant. Why? Because you are probably feeling the same pain. You're probably feeling the same pain that I am. So we're going to do better. Or like all of the others, we will say we held out the longest. Blake Radio, Brother Delani's Harambe Radio. We all do the best we can. And also, if you have been diagnosed with cancer, if you are exhibiting metabolic syndrome, which is the accumulation of 3 diseases or more of the following: abdominal obesity, visceral adiposity, overweight obesity, high triglycerides, cholesterol imbalance in your blood, progressive kidney failure, disruption of your gut microbiome, cancer, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hypertension or hyperglycemia. If you are suffering from 3 or more of those, you have metabolic syndrome and you need help. You need help because you cannot fix this on your own. You need help because we have a fix that you can implement in as little as 5 days. In as little as 5 days. 5 days, you can correct your metabolic syndrome. Text me. Text me. Text me at 702-580-0662, and let's work on optimizing your natural health. If I can show you that I am a living example of what I'm talking about, normalize your weight, get all of this stuff together, and let's move forward together. There's nothing to hold you back except for holding yourself back. I'm urging you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you. Americans, get out of this long chronic disease, chronic inflammatory condition queue. I cannot say it enough. Maybe I'll take all day long and just stay on LIB radio all day long. I used to do fundraisers. I haven't been doing a fundraiser. We did a fundraiser in December. It helped a little bit, and I guess we should have kept it up and done another one in May. But I don't like doing fundraisers. It's, to me, a fundraiser is it's a drag. But we used to do the fundraisers, and we used to raise enough money during the fundraisers. At one point, at our height, we raised almost the operating expenses for the entire month. We did it like 2 or 3 months at a time back in the day. What are we prepared to do nowadays? What are we prepared to do? We better figure it out. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I've did the best that I could today, but I swear I don't think it was good enough. I don't think that the best that I could do, I don't think was good enough. I see you in the house. Somebody poked his head up in Google. Sawubona. I got in late. I'm wondering if you talked about the ills of sugar, hard to escape it. Yeah, we banged on hard. We came down real hard on that, on the ills of sugar. Just to real quickly, I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but sugar came in as the number on our list of 11. Sugar came in, a couple of points it came in at, but it came in on, I think it was number 2. Number 3, refined sugars and sweets. That's on the menu for today, isn't it? High fructose corn syrup, barbecue sauce, candies, pies, cookies, cakes, popsicles, ice cream. That didn't even cover sugary drinks and sodas, Coke, Pepsi, Fanta, root beer, lemonade, sweet tea. The studies linking sugar to cancer are, while they say they're not conclusive, and the reason they're not conclusive is they're not doing double-blind studies on humans, but they are doing double-blind studies on animals. It's immoral and unethical to do double-blind sugar studies on humans, even though they could find humans are consuming that level of sugar, and they'll use those as the basis of studies, but those are not considered quote-unquote conclusive. So you're absolutely right, Nguvu. We came down on sugar like a ton of bricks. Now, will we convince anybody out there to take the fizzy soda challenge to create your own sugary drink? Your own, not sugary, no, your own fizzy drink with natural juices, 100% tart cherry juice, 100% pomegranate juice, 100% blueberry juice, or 100% cranberry juice. Mix equal parts of the 100% juice with fizzy sparkling water. Now you have a fizzy sparkling soda that's going to be so much tastier. It's going to be so much tastier. People can do this. I think they should do it in Google. But what I think others should do, I'm better at with myself. If everyone out there did today what I'm going to do regarding farce called July, they ain't never, ever, ever going to happen. Because today, on the 4th called July, I am going to probably only consume a smoothie, a stem cell regenerative smoothie. I may do a little bit more because, you know, I'm not living alone. And so I may be preparing some foods for others to eat. I did soak some black beans, so I may make some black bean dip today, but it will be non-carcinogenic. So thank you, Nguvu, for speaking up. Can I get everybody out there to hit the like button for today's program? Did you like it? The 4th of July and cancer causing foods. Did you like it? I hope you did. You can get in contact with me. I'd love it. I'd love to hear from you, our listening audience. And he said, I've tried this and it's actually good. It's an effort to be healthy, but well worth it. It is an effort to be healthy. You're absolutely right in Google, but it is well worth it. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. And Guvu, if you haven't already, can I get you to buy a book today? Can I get everyone out there, 100% of you, all of you, everyone, if you're on whatever website you're on, I want you to go to Keedy.biz. Go to http keidi.biz /CRP 2012 and buy at least one book. I need this to stay STAY on the air. And I'm not to buy at least one book. For some odd reason, my L doesn't always show up. I need this to stay on the air. We may have to go ahead and pull the plug. We made it through 22 complete years. The 23rd year has been an incredible struggle. And I woke up today and my checking account was severely overdrawn. Severely overdrawn. So we're asking you, our listeners, to join us. Let's join together. Let's group together. My Cash App, I put it up earlier. I'm going to put it up one more time in case anybody with a Cash App, you could put $5 on Cash App and it'll be in my Cash App account in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. My phone will start going off, or it won't. It'll either or it won't. I cannot overemphasize we're at the end of the road. The last little bit of it could come as early as Sunday. Because I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to live off of this. The costs have gone up and the income has collapsed. You've been tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingBlack.com. I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to be in 2 minutes looking for everybody, anywhere. If you want to buy the equipment, if you want to buy the studio and take it over for yourself. That will probably be the last little bit of action that we will be able to do. You've been tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Thank you all for all you do, for all we do together. It has been a good run. And so, with a good run, I want to thank you all for tuning in, for telling your friends about us, for doing everything you can do to the best of your abilities to build something that would last for a long time. You've been tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Peace, y'all.